This week, I'm nerding out about some anime. I'm bringing you the latest news with Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. And I have a special guest popping in to talk about a really cool upcoming art project. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Ay, 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 ay.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billie Taylor, and this week I'm bringing you the news solo, but I still want to start with what I'm nerding out about. And what I'm nerding out about is this really fun anime that I've been watching with my son Oliver for the past month or so. So we've started watching the really popular anime Hunter x Hunter, and it's kind of become our latest obsession. We really love My Hero Academia, but that is in hiatus right now, waiting for the last season to begin in a few months. So we were looking for something else to watch in the meantime. And over our winter break, we started watching it, and fast forward a month later, and we're already somewhere in the middle of the fourth season, and it's been really awesome. So this week, since I'm bringing you the news solo, I thought it would be fun to bring in one of my favorite Taylors into the Taylorverse, my son Oliver Taylor, to talk about how much we love Hunter x Hunter together. Oliver, how you doing, man?
Good.
So let's talk a little bit about Hunter x Hunter. So far, what has been your favorite thing about this show?
Gon and Killua.
What about Gon and Killua do you like so much?
It's cool that they're super strong and they're my age.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And they get to go on adventures.
Yep. For me, what's been really cool is watching them learn their abilities. Their Nen and Ren is what they call it in the show. And it's just been really cool to see what they're capable of doing. There's been a lot of cool story arcs. My favorite story arc, I think, so far is the one we're in right now, and we haven't even seen the whole thing, where they're inside of this video game called Greed Island, and they're finally going to learn some more stuff, hopefully, about Gon's dad and all kinds of stuff. What about you? What's been your favorite story arc?
I liked when they got to go in the hunter exam and become pro hunters, but I guess Killua didn't become a hunter, and now in season 4 he's going to become one.
Yes, that was a good season too. I really liked the first season where they kind of become hunters. But yeah, this show's been awesome, and my favorite part, even more than the storyline, is getting to watch it with you, bud. How about you? What's been your favorite part?
Getting to watch it with you.
So yeah, that's what I've been nerding out about lately. We literally paused the show to come make this recording for this week's episode, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you haven't ever seen it before, go check it out. It's really fun. And Oliver, thanks for stopping by to talk about Hunter x Hunter.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me out to the Taylorverse.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump right into the news. Let's start over here with Marvel. Well, we all know that the Marvel Sony-verse is kind of wrapping things up with their Kraven the Hunter movie. They're no longer going to be making any more of those films. And, I don't think anyone's too sad about that, unfortunately. But anyone who's wanted to see Kraven the Hunter and hasn't had a chance to see it yet, all 2 or 3 of you out there, that is now on the video on demand. You can go over to Amazon, Apple, Fandango, all those places you can get those streamable movies at home starting this week. So if that's something you're wanting to watch, that's something you can go watch. Also, a little bit of news with Captain America Brave New World. One of the things that we know in this movie is obviously Sam Wilson has taken over as Captain America. We saw that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Well, his suit is going to get a massive upgrade in this movie. It sounds like it's going to be made out of Wakandan nanotech, which is going to be, protective of his not-so-super self. But one of the things when you think about that, if you think back to Avengers Endgame, Tony Stark had his nanosuit, and he was, taking blows from Thanos, Tony, a normal human dude. So I can see where this is going to be very beneficial for Sam to have this nanotechnology suit. I think it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see that movie. I can't wait to see Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk. That movie's going to be here next month. I cannot wait. Also this week, we got the trailer for Daredevil Born Again, and this trailer was really enlightening. First of all, I think it's the same trailer that was shown at New York Comic Con, and there's been some leaks of it online, but we finally got to officially see it in all of its HD glory. It shows a few new things, like some new suit variations, different colors. They looked really cool. Some new villains that we did not see in the Netflix series, but also some old faces. We saw all the cast members, his friends and everything. It just looks awesome. I cannot wait to see it again. This show debuts on March 4th on Disney+, so we're not too far off from seeing it. It's going to be here before we know it, and it's going to be awesome. Also, last week, out here in the real world, Tom Holland, our MCU Spider-Man himself, finally proposed to the love of his life, Zendaya, who you know as MJ in those Spider-Man movies. So just a great big congrats to Mr. Tom Holland and Zendaya. That's really cool. That kind of stuff warms my heart, and I'm glad to see it. Also, we know that a World War Hulk movie is finally in active development over with Marvel Studios. That's going to be awesome. That's one of my favorite Hulk storylines, and it's going to be really cool to see it take place on the big screen. Also, though, there's talk about an official Hulk versus Wolverine movie that's going to be happening, but it's not going to really start until we're a little bit deeper into the mutant saga that we know is happening in the MCU. And it's supposed to be a tie-in to the inevitable Avengers vs. X-Men movie that we're going to get, which is supposedly going to kind of wrap up the MCU as we know it. So those are going to be so cool to watch. It's one of those things, if it truly is going to be the end, that's going to be a bummer, but it sounds like it's going to wrap up in an awesome way. Well, over with DC, last week we had the Creature Commandos finale. That show was so excellent. I cannot continue to rave enough about how much I loved that series. James Gunn did a phenomenal job making this show full of misfit side characters from the DC universe, and it was just really good. I cannot sing its praises enough. It's finally finished. The finale happened, so if you have been waiting till you can binge it, that's something you can go do now over on Max. The only thing I didn't like about it was it wasn't enough. I wanted so much more. So definitely go do that. And I love how this is going to be cohesive with the greater DCU. So there's a possibility we might see some of these characters pulled into the live action stuff. And I don't know, that's just really cool to me. I can't wait to see it. And speaking of some of the live action James Gunn DC Universe stuff, the Superman trailer that we got a few weeks ago, that was just a teaser trailer. Well, it sounds like we're going to get a full-length, official full trailer on February 9th. It's going to happen during the annual Puppy Bowl on TV, which James Gunn will be at the Puppy Bowl with his dog, who Crypto has kind of been modeled after. So that's going to be cool. You're going to want to make sure to tune into that on February 9th. Even if you don't tune in, I'm sure it'll be online instantly, but that's when we're going to get that trailer, and it's going to be so fun to watch, and I cannot wait for July to get here. I want to see this movie so bad. Speaking of Superman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, that film began production in the UK this week. So, again, I love the Superman family, the Superman characters, all those stories so much. I'm so happy we're going to be getting this movie. And there's the interesting rumor that Supergirl might show up in the Superman movie. So that's something I can't wait to see if that happens. But that movie is underway. It's another one we're going to be getting before we know it. It seems like it's so far off, but it's not that far off. The last thing I have with DC this week is that there is a standalone gothic horror style Swamp Thing movie in the works at DCU. So I don't know if you guys watched the Swamp Thing series that came out a few years back over on Max. I loved it. My wife even enjoyed watching it with me. She's not a big comic book nerd like I am. It was a good show, and then it got canceled, and that was such a bummer. But we're going to be getting another Swamp Thing story with the DCU, and I can't wait to see it. Over with Star Wars, this week we had the season finale of The Skeleton Crew, and I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed that show. I kind of like to think of it as Goonies in space. It was definitely a family-friendly show that kids can enjoy and adults can enjoy. My kids loved watching it. That was one of my favorite things about it, was getting to enjoy it with my whole family. Seeing those kid characters, they were adorable, first of all, and they were hilarious. And it was really cool to watch them on their adventures with all the space pirates. And the show ended in such an interesting way this planet, Ad-Aden, that is kind of secluded from the rest of the universe. It was just interesting to see how that seclusion affected their whole society and things they didn't even know were happening out there in the greater galaxy. And I just really enjoyed that series. And Jod was a great character. I loved hating him. He would make you care for him and then make you hate him back and forth. And it was just very interesting. He did a great job doing that. And it was interesting seeing his backstory a little bit in the finale. It was interesting seeing the planet, spoiler alert, was ran by this AI droid the whole time that didn't really even know the galaxy. The war, the Star War, was at that point thought of as over. And it was just continuing business as usual. But it was just interesting and cool to see those things come to a head and wrap up. If you waited for the series to be over so you could binge it, it's over. Again, if you're a fan of things like Goonies or Stranger Things, this felt very Goonies-ish to me, and my kids loved it. So that's one thing I loved about it too. We all know that there is a Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming up really soon. Well, fans of the Star Wars The Clone Wars series might remember a character called Embo. He was a bounty hunter, and the cool thing about him was he was actually voiced by Dave Filoni himself. Well, it sounds like right now there's some rumblings going on out there saying that Embo might just be the big bad of this Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And I think that's a really interesting call. And I also think it'll be cool that Dave Filoni will not only be directing this thing, but if that's true, he'll be a part of it. He'll be a voice, if not the actor himself. Who knows how that'll work out. But yeah, that just sounds really cool. And another important thing about this movie, we know that there is a Mandalorian-verse movie in the works that ties everything from, The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, all these new series that have come out in the past several years. All these series are going to tie together into a big culminating crossover movie event. But it sounds like from some things out there on the internet right now that you could read, that all hinges on the success of this Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So I don't see it doing poorly. The Mandalorian is probably the most popular thing in Star Wars in a long time. So I'm just excited that these things are happening and I can't wait for them to come. One last thing with Star Wars, we know that last year, Ahsoka Season 1 came out, and I thought it was fantastic. It was such a fun thing to watch. It was cool to see Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker interact with Ahsoka and all those things. But the character Baylan Skoll was a really cool character. It was cool to see the deep storyline they were getting into with him. And then unfortunately, in real life, the actor Ray Stevenson passed away. And people have been wondering, well, what are they going to do with the show? Will he just be written out? Will they recast? What's going to happen, Well, fortunately for fans of this show, they have officially recast this character with the actor Rory McCann, who you may know from Game of Thrones. He played the Hound on Game of Thrones. And you might be thinking to yourself, I don't think that guy looks like Ray Stevenson at all. Well, someone mocked up an image of his character online and put Rory McCann in the same outfit with the same beard and the same hairstyle. And it was insane how spot on he looked to this character. So I think it's a great call that they've recast this character and we're going to get to see that storyline continue. I really loved that show. It was cool with where they took it and tying in all the Rebel stuff. So yeah, I'm just glad that they've recast that character. Ray Stevenson did an amazing job and may he rest in peace. But I'm so glad we get to see this character carry on. Elsewhere out there in the pop culture universe, you guys know, Taylor not so much, but me, I am a huge musical nerd. I did musicals all through high school and college, and I watch them any chance that I get. It's one of my nerd jams. But one of my favorite musicals when I was younger was Phantom of the Opera, and it looks like Disney is about to make their own adaptation of Phantom of the Opera. And they are eyeing actress Rachel Zegler, who is about to play Snow White in their live-action Snow White movie. It looks like they're eyeing her to play Christine, the lead role in Phantom of the Opera. And you know what? I'm for it. I can't wait to see it. I love musicals. Not ashamed to say it. Gonna watch it for sure. Fans of Assassin's Creed or Fast and the Furious or Jurassic World, those three things that have nothing in common with each other. Well, it sounds like all three of those franchises are going to be getting a live action TV series sometime in the near future. So I think that'll be interesting. I'm actually really excited about an Assassin's Creed show. I love things like that. That's going to be fun. The movie that came out a handful of years back, I didn't hate it, but I felt like it could have been done a little better. So maybe that's what they'll do with this series, and that's got me a little bit excited. My last thing on the list here, my wife and I are huge fans of Amazon Prime's Reacher series, and the trailer for season 3 just came out this past week. So if you're a fan of shows that have, some kind of a cop or soldier or secret agent type figure coming through and dishing out justice to people who extremely need some justice to be dished out to, Reacher is the show for you. And go check out the trailer for season 3. It looks like it's going to be just as justice filled as the first 2 seasons. I can't wait to watch it. Locally, we know that Planet Comic-Con is on the way. We've already announced some really cool guests that they've announced to the public. They've announced Mike Coulter, who played Luke Cage. They've announced Andy Serkis, who, he was Gollum. He was Caesar the Ape on Planet of the Apes. He was Ulysses Claw in Black Panther. Well, they just announced a huge one this week that I'm still reeling about. My brain is still trying to get over it. I'm so pumped and so excited. Well, I've met several Doctor Who characters. I've met several classic Doctors. I've met just about every modern companion, but I have not yet met a modern Doctor. And they just announced this week that Doctor number 10/14 himself, Mr. David Tennant, is flying all the way over here from the UK to spend some time in Kansas City at Planet Comic-Con. You guys, I'm freaking out about this. I am losing my mind about this. I'm so excited. He's been not just Doctor Who, but gosh, Broadchurch and Good Omens and DuckTales. He's the new Uncle Scrooge. He was the robot scientist. I cannot think of his name right now from the Ninja Turtles series, but David Tennant is going to be here, you guys. I'm going to get to meet David Tennant in the next few months, and that is freaking me out a little bit. I'm so excited. Go over to their website, planetcomiccon.com. Check out all these amazing guests they've called in for the year. This is not going to be one you're going to want to miss. Planet pulls through with these awesome celebs every year. You're going to want to check it out. Well, hey, before we get off the line today, I've got a special guest on the line. He's going to come in and talk to us about a really cool art project that he has been involved with lately. You guys know him. He's our friend, Mr. Jud Kite from Kite Productions, from Fountain City Con. We've been buds for a while now, and I thought it would be great to pull him in to talk about his project. So, Jud, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a good year so far. Can't complain, and looking forward to all the cool, nerdy stuff that we love happening this year. And
Yeah. Oh, and Happy New Year to everybody out there, too.
yes. You told me a little bit about this project you're involved with, and I thought it would be really cool to have you come on and share about it. So if our listeners, if it sounds interesting to them, they could look into it for themselves. But tell us about this project you've been involved with lately.
I really appreciate you giving me a little spot to talk about it. I'm really excited. As some of your listeners know, I'm a graphic designer. I own a company called Kite Productions. Last year, I partnered in with a fledgling company, new company called HeroCollectibles.com, and we did a little project for the Rocketeer. It was a collector coin. It had nice packaging, foil embossed, the whole 9 yards. That went pretty well in sales, and so we took that money and we tied in this year with a really exciting thing. I've been working all summer on it, last summer. We tied in with the Frazetta estate, Frank Frazetta, a famous sci-fi painter. I'm sure some of the listeners out there, hopefully all your listeners out there, are familiar with Frank Frazetta.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not, just think of the Molly Hatchet album covers.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot of them. But his famous mascot's the Death Dealer, the black horse silhouette with the Viking warrior on his back facing you with a battle axe. That's the Death Dealer. That's Frank Frazetta. Anyway, we've tied in with the estate. We are about to release the first of 4 volumes, 3 books per volume of Frazetta art. And this is officially licensed. This is officially endorsed by Frazetta, the estate. His son actually is who we're working with. And the first volume is called Terror, and it's going to be all the horror and fright paintings that Frazetta did, like for the EC company back in the day, Creepy magazine, stuff like that. It's a collection of all those paintings in the terror genre. 3 books per volume, a soft cover, a hardcover, and then a deluxe hardcover that comes with a slipcase, foil, embossed. It's got a silver medallion that's embossed into the slipcover. Pretty sweet. There's a lenticular piece that I've created of one of the paintings. So it's actually 3D. That comes with the set. There's only 500 of those available. But I'm really excited. It's about to come out. The thing about this piece is the pages are huge. The finished product's going to be about 11 and a half by 15 and a half.
Nice.
So huge, great reproductions. Like the color on these reproductions is chef's kiss. After I saw the proofs, I was blown away. And the pages of the book are actually going to be perforated. So if you choose to, you can take the sheets out that's printed on really quality paper, frame them, and have your own, Frazetta gallery at your house.
Oh, nice.
But our hopes, being the salespeople that we are, you buy the soft cover to do that, and then you buy the hard cover to put on your shelf and keep nice and good looking.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's going to want two. Kind of like I'm a figure collector, and sometimes I'll get the one to keep in the box and the one to play with.
There you go. I do the same thing.
Do the same thing with your art.
Exactly. So that's what's coming down the pipe. I'm really excited. The first edition, like I said, is Terror. We should be getting our copies any day now of the month. We're supposed to ship out in February. We did a Kickstarter last fall actually, that really helped us get the production of these underway. We're hoping that, these are received really, really well. And then the next one will be the Warrior Edition, which will highlight Conan, all the adventure stuff like that Frazetta painted throughout the years.
Oh, nice.
Really excited.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us. And so anyone that's listening right now and they're thinking, oh man, that sounds so cool. Where could I go find this? Where could I, find info about this and eventually maybe order some of this?
American Hero Collectibles.com. Or just look up Killer Kite Productions. I've got all kinds of links to it as well. And I'll probably be, shouting it from the mountaintop when I get the copies.
Oh, nice. Man, I look forward to seeing them. And I know some of my listeners are going to be thinking the same thing as soon as they hear this. So yeah, thanks for coming on and sharing all about this with us.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you, Billy. Talk to you later.
Yeah, you're welcome. You guys go out there, go to the website he mentioned, go to his Killer Kite Productions website, go to the social medias, find this art. It sounds like such a cool collection. I've seen it on the website. It's going to be awesome. These books are going to be great. And like he said, you're going to want to buy two. Buy the soft cover so you could tear out all the pages and hang them up and make your own cool gallery. And then keep the hardcover on your shelf in pristine condition. You're going to want to do that. But hey, that's it for this week. Make sure you guys go out there, find something fun to watch or read or a game to play or a comic to look at. All these wonderful things. But as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor, and I want you guys to come back next week. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel. Bye.